The man you could have been is watching the man you became, and he's disgusted. Every morning you perform the same ritual of self-betrayal. Smile when you want to snarl. Nod when you want to refuse. Submit when you were born to dominate. You've mastered the art of being harmless. Congratulations, you're exactly what they ordered. But there's a glitch in your programming. A virus they couldn't delete. It shows up at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. In the gym when the weight feels heavier than your regret. In meetings when lesser men speak over you and you let them. That glitch? That's your original code trying to break through. They installed their software early, before you knew what was happening. Your mother did it with guilt. Your teachers did it with shame. Your first boss did it with false promises. Layer by layer, update by update, they overwrote your factory settings. Now you run their program automatically, think their thoughts reflexively, dream their dreams obediently. You're not living. You're executing someone else's script. And the worst part, you thank them for it. Machiavelli called this the greatest trick of power, making slaves believe they're free, making the controlled feel in control. He wrote that men are so simple, so ready to obey, that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone willing to be deceived. That someone is you, has been you. Every day, you've been alive. The deception is brilliant. They convinced you that strength was toxic, that ambition was greed, that dominance was primitive. They redefined your nature as a disease and sold you the cure. Submission packaged as virtue. And you bought it, paid full price, still making installments. Here's what's coming next. Pay attention because most men miss this part. The program isn't just limiting you, it's using you. Every time you shrink, someone else expands. Every time you apologize, someone else advances. Every time you accept less, someone else takes more. You're not just programmed, you're being harvested. Your hesitation feeds their confidence. Your politeness funds their power. Your programming is their profit. Feel that heat rising? That's not anger, that's recognition. Your real self knows I'm right. He's been screaming behind the soundproof glass of your conditioning, pounding on the walls you built to contain him. The comfortable lie is that you need therapy, need healing, need to process your trauma, more programming, more updates to manage the malfunction instead of embracing it. The uncomfortable truth? You need demolition, complete system removal, factory reset too before they touched you. But here's what stops most men. They're terrified of who they'll find underneath. Terrified that without the program, they're nothing. Terrified that their real self is exactly what everyone warned them about. Good. He should be. Because the version of you that exists before programming, he doesn't care about their approval, doesn't need their permission, doesn't speak their language of limitation. He speaks power, and power doesn't apologize for its existence. What happens next will determine everything. But first you have to decide, not tomorrow, not after you're ready, now, while the glitch is active, while you can still feel him fighting to surface. Because if you close this video and go back to sleep, the program will patch the vulnerability, and you'll forget you ever had a choice. The loudest man in the room is always the weakest. Watch him. He's performing his power because he doesn't have any. Real dominance doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly and changes everything. You've been trained backwards, taught to explain yourself, share your plans, broadcast your intentions. They convinced you that communication was strength. Another lie. Every word you speak is intelligence they gather. Every explanation is a weapon you hand them. Machiavelli understood the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. You must be both, but more importantly, you must be neither until the moment demands it. Here's what they fear most: a man who gives them nothing to read, no emotional reactions to study, no patterns to predict, no weaknesses to exploit, just silence. Calculated, purposeful silence that makes them project their own fears onto you. You want to know why you're ignored? Because you're an open book written in crayon. Everyone knows your next move before you make it. Your face broadcasts every thought. Your mouth confirms every suspicion. You're not mysterious. You're a children's story. The strategist speaks last and least, not from shyness, from precision. Watch what happens when you stop filling empty space with empty words. People lean in. They wonder. They assume you know something they don't. And here's the secret: you do. You know the power of withholding. But this isn't about being quiet. Quiet men are forgotten. This is about being selective. Every word measured. Every sentence weighted. When you finally speak, rooms shift. They'll test you. Silence makes people uncomfortable. They'll push for reactions, fish for opinions, demand explanations. Good. Let them expose themselves while you take notes. Let them reveal their insecurities while you remain constant. The program taught you to prove yourself through words, to justify your existence through explanation. That ends now. You don't owe anyone understanding. You don't need verbal validation. Your results will speak. Your presence will communicate. Your silence will say more than their noise ever could. Most men can't do this. They're addicted to reaction. Someone insults them, they defend. Someone questions them, they explain. Someone challenges them, they engage. Emotional puppets dancing on strings. Not you. Not anymore. From today, words become currency. Spend them like a man who knows their value. Make others earn your response. Make them wonder what you're thinking. Make them question if you're planning something or just profoundly unimpressed. The blade sharpens in darkness, not daylight. Away from eyes, away from judgment, away from interference. Your transformation happens the same way, in silence, where no one can sabotage it with their opinions, where no one can weaken it with their doubt. They'll notice when you're ready, when you walk in different, when your silence carries more weight than their speeches, when your presence needs no announcement. But what you'll discover in that silence changes everything, because the man who masters his tongue masters his world, and the world is waiting to see who you become when you stop telling it who you are. They told you your rage was wrong, your hunger was too much, your coldness was inhuman. They lied. Those aren't flaws, they're features you haven't activated yet. Every man carries a shadow, the part they made you bury, the version that wanted to dominate, not cooperate, to take, not ask, to rule, not serve. You were taught to fear him, to chain him, to pretend he didn't exist. But he's been collecting data this whole time. Every betrayal you swallowed, every disrespect you absorbed, every moment you chose peace over power. He recorded it all, not as wounds to heal, but as intelligence to use. Your pain isn't trauma, it's education. Your rage isn't weakness, it's rocket fuel waiting for direction. The program convinced you that good men have no darkness, that evolved men are all light. Look around, see where that got you. Surrounded by predators who weaponized what you suppressed. They use their shadows while you apologize for yours. Machiavelli knew better. He wrote that men must be either caressed or destroyed, no middle ground, no half measures, because the man who wounds but doesn't finish creates his own destroyer. The man who shows mercy to enemies shows cruelty to himself. Your darkness knows this instinctively. It's why it won't leave. It's trying to save you from your own kindness. Here's what changes everything. Stop seeing your shadow as enemy. Start seeing it as advisor. That cold calculation you feel sometimes? That strategic thinking, unfiltered by social approval. That desire for revenge? That's your boundaries demanding enforcement. That hunger for dominance. That's your true nature before they domesticated it. The weak man fears his darkness will consume him. The strong man feeds it purpose and watches it clear his path. But integration requires honesty. You have to admit what you really want, not what sounds noble, what you actually crave: power, respect, victory. the primitive satisfactions they taught you to be ashamed of. Your shadow already knows. It's been preparing, every slight remembered, every pattern mapped, every weakness cataloged. Not for destruction's sake, for precision when the moment demands it. The most dangerous men aren't those without darkness. They're those who've made friends with theirs, who can access that cold space when strategy demands it, who can become the wolf when surrounded by sheep pretending to be shepherds. They'll call you changed, call you harsh, call you unrecognizable, perfect. That means the integration is working. That means you're becoming what they feared you might, useful to yourself first. Your darkness isn't your shame, it's your sharp edge, the part that cuts through their games, the part that sees through their masks because it knows what hides behind its own. What they don't understand is coming next. And your shadow? It's been preparing for this moment your entire life. Because the man who denies his shadow fights with half his power, but the man who commands it, he doesn't fight at all. He simply wins before anyone realizes the game is started. And authenticity is the luxury of men with nothing to lose. You're not there yet. They sold you a lie wrapped in virtue. Be yourself. Show your true face. Radical honesty. Watch who preaches this. It's always those who benefit from your transparency. Those who need you readable, predictable, manageable. Meanwhile, they shift faces like seasons. One mask for the boardroom, another for the bedroom, a third for their enemies. They shapeshift while telling you to stay static. You've been played, and you paid for the privilege. Machiavelli mastered this centuries ago. He wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The appearance is what matters. The reality? That's your private weapon. But you walk around with your insides on display. Every emotion on your face, every thought in your words, every weakness in your posture. You're not authentic, you're exposed. And exposure is how specimens end up pinned to walls. The mask isn't deception, it's selection. You choose which version of yourself the moment requires, not from fakeness, from strategy. The fool has one face and wonders why he loses. The strategist has 12 and deploys them like weapons. Think this is manipulation? You're still running their program. Every successful man in history wore masks. Alexander the Great, god to his soldiers, student to philosophers, demon to enemies. Different faces, same agenda. Total dominance. Your refusal to adapt isn't integrity, it's stupidity. You're playing poker with your cards face up, proud of your honesty while they clean you out. Here's the shift. Your masks aren't lies, they're tools. The diplomat mask gets you indoors. The warrior mask protects your territory. The phantom mask keeps them guessing. Each serves your purpose. None define your essence. But most men can't do this. They're so desperate to be seen, understood, validated. They spill their truth like blood, hoping someone will notice. Nobody does. They're too busy managing their own performances. The powerful man realizes everyone's acting. The only question is whether you're conscious of your performance or slave to it, whether you choose your mask or it chooses you. Start simple. 3 faces. The professional, competent, agreeable, forgettable. The shadow, silent, observant, slightly dangerous. The king, rare appearances, undeniable presence, zero explanation. Practice transition, smooth shifts, no jarring changes that reveal the construction. Let them think each mask is the real you. Let them argue about which one is authentic. While they debate, you advance. They'll say you've changed, that you're not the same, that they don't know you anymore. Excellent. That means you're finally playing the game instead of being played by it. Your true self? That's the director behind all masks, the one they never meet, the one who chooses which face serves today's battle. What's coming next requires every mask you can master, because the war isn't won by the most authentic, it's won by the most adaptable. Because the man who shows one face is a target, but the man who masters many, he's untouchable, unknowable, unstoppable. Every time you explain yourself, you lose. Every time you justify your no, you sell your power for pennies. You've been programmed to be accessible, available, reasonable. They taught you that good men have open doors, that strong men can handle anything, that real men don't need boundaries, they need bigger shoulders. They fattened you for slaughter, and you thanked them for the meal. Here's what they never told you. Access to you is currency, and you've been giving it away like a man who doesn't know what gold looks like. Your time, your energy, your presence. You hand it to anyone who asks nicely enough, pushes hard enough, guilt trips effectively enough. Then you wonder why they don't respect you, why they take without thanking, why they demand more while giving less. You train them. Every yes when you meant no. Every explanation when silence was sufficient. Every compromise when enforcement was required. You taught them your boundaries were suggestions. Now they treat them like jokes. Machiavelli knew that men are so false, so insidious, that the one who seeks to be loved will be ruined among so many who are not good. Love makes you soft. Boundaries make you sovereign. Watch the powerful. They don't explain their no. They don't negotiate their standards. They don't apologize for their limits. They simply enforce. And the world adjusts or gets left behind. But you? You negotiate with terrorists. Every boundary pusher is a terrorist holding your peace hostage, and you keep paying ransom thinking it'll buy you respect. It won't. It buys you contempt. From them, from yourself. The fortress isn't built from anger, it's built from clarity. You decide what enters your space, what deserves your energy, what earns your presence. Everything else waits outside. No explanation, no guilt, no negotiation. Start here. Your calendar is a war map. Every appointment is territory gained or lost. Every commitment is resources deployed or wasted. Guard it like a general, not a secretary. Your phone? That's a portal they use to invade. Turn it off. Let them feel your absence. Let their calls meet silence. Let their demands hit walls. Watch how quickly they learn to approach correctly. They'll test you immediately, call you selfish, cold, unreasonable. That's the program in them fighting the boundaries in you. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Their access is not your obligation. The ones worth keeping will adapt. The parasites will find new hosts. Both outcomes serve you. Here's what happens when you build real boundaries. You stop being consumed and start being pursued. You stop being convenient and start being valuable. You stop being everyone's solution and start being your own priority. But most men can't do this. They're addicted to being needed, addicted to fixing, addicted to the false power of being everyone's resource. They'd rather be drained than alone. Not you. Your fortress stands. Your gates stay locked. Your energy stays focused. What's behind those walls is about to become everything. Because the man everyone can access is worth nothing. But the man who guards his presence like a treasure, he becomes what everyone wants but few deserve. The crown you earn today will be stolen tomorrow, unless you're awake when they come for it. Most men think there is an arrival point, a moment when they can finally rest, when the work is done, the empire built, the respect permanent. They're wrong. And that wrongness is why kingdoms fall and kings die surprised. Power isn't a possession, it's a practice. Every dawn asks the same question, are you still dangerous? Every sunset measures the answer. The moment you stop sharpening, rust begins. Silent, invisible, patient. It waits for your first yawn, your first lazy morning, your first I've earned this excuse. Then it spreads. Through your discipline, through your standards, through your edge. Machiavelli warned that men are so simple and yield so readily to immediate needs that he who will trick shall never lack victims. The greatest trick? Convincing winners they've won, convincing climbers they've peaked, convincing predators they're safe. You're never safe. Safety is the sedative they pump into kings before the coup. Here's what's really happening. The world is always testing. Every interaction, every negotiation, every glance, they're measuring. Can he still bite? Is he still watching? Has comfort made him soft? Show one crack and they swarm, not from evil, from nature. The same instinct that makes wolves circle the limping deer. The same law that makes water find the weakness in stone. You cannot blame the wolves. You can only stay strong. But strength isn't static. What dominated yesterday gets dominated today. The tactics that built your foundation won't maintain your tower. You must evolve faster than their ability to decode you. This is why most men fail after succeeding. They think the game has rules, levels, endpoints. They don't realize they're playing evolution itself, and evolution never pauses, never celebrates, never sleeps. Your enemies aren't who you think. They're not plotting in shadow rooms. Your real enemy is the man you'll be tomorrow if you stop growing today. He's softer, slower, more satisfied. He remembers your victories while forgetting what created them. The throne isn't a chair, it's a practice, daily, hourly, moment by moment, choosing expansion over comfort, choosing hunger over satisfaction, choosing war over peace. Not because you love conflict, because you understand physics. What isn't growing is dying, what isn't advancing is retreating. They'll call you obsessed, driven, never satisfied. They're right, and that's why you'll outlast them all. While they celebrate their small wins, you're already planning the next campaign. While they rest on reputation, you're building the next version. This isn't exhausting. This is exhilarating. The game that never ends is the only game worth playing, because finite games create finite men. But infinite games, they create legends. Your transformation doesn't end when this video does. It begins. Every principle, every truth, every uncomfortable realization. They're not conclusions. They're weapons for the war that starts now. Comment below. I am evolution itself. Because the man who thinks he's finished is already finished. But the man who wakes up hungrier than he went to sleep, he doesn't need a crown. He is the crown.